Right now on Denver 7 News at 7 a.m. on Local 3, Colorado is considering a change today to one of the most famous landmarks along the Front Range, the painful history behind Mount Evans' current namesake that's prompting the push for change.
More than just beautiful wilderness, we also have bustling town centers and access to all the services you may need.
Comedian Amy Schumer is calling attention to Colorado's legal abortion services. The new comedy sketch sparking response this morning from our state tourism office.
The Secretary of State's office owning up to a mistake. The mailer 30,000 Coloradans received encouraging them to do something they're not allowed to do.
And the Stanley Cup just made its way to the Denver 7 studios this morning ahead of the start of the regular season tomorrow. Well, we know who the star of the show is right there, right? Lord Stanley's Cup. It was awesome to see.
Sharing the desk with us, yes.
You could feel and see the history with it, but obviously the Avs are celebrating their championship tomorrow night. So it was fun to kind of
time to get back to hockey season.
That celebration, yes. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa Hidalgo here. Looks like it'll be a great week for hockey. Getting out to a game,
Party is over, boys. Get back on the ice. We want to win again, right? We are looking at a really nice night tomorrow. I'll show you what to expect for the game if you're heading out downtown or to Ball Arena tomorrow night coming up. Right now, though, we're in the low to mid 50s. Beautiful start to our Tuesday morning. It's going to be another pretty warm one. 40s, 50s here early on. Broomfield right now already at 61. Littleton 44. So because of those southwesterly winds, we're seeing a wide range of temps here early this morning. But most of us are going to be in the mid to upper 70s here by this afternoon. Denver right around 76, 50s and 60s in the mountains. Now we do have high fire danger across parts of northeastern Colorado. The winds are going to kick up today. We have a chance for a few showers tonight, but it's going to be pretty dry, warm, and again, windy up to the northeast. Wind gusts likely, Jason, at about 30 to 40 miles per hour.
New crashes, one over at 285 in Kipling on the west side, the other one at Piccadilly and Smith Road on the east side of town, not too far from I-70. Right now we're dealing with a couple of highway crashes, including this one on I-25. Take a look from the camera up here near 104. So the wreck is moved over to mostly to the right shoulder, but that right lane still remains blocked up. So you have two lanes getting through and the express lane. But still, as you can see on the drive times, we're looking at about a half an hour coming all the way through there and then continuing into downtown Denver. We have a new problem, unfortunately. I-70, good news. The crash that we had right by York Street, that's clear. But this new one is northbound right there between Alameda and 6th Avenue. They're trying to move it to the right shoulder. And this is just from Broadway, 15 minutes. The overall drive coming out of the Denver Tech Center, you're still looking at about 20 to 25 minutes all the way to downtown Denver.
One of Colorado's most popular 14ers could soon have a new name. Mount Evans, as we know it, will go before a state board today. Denver 7's Brandon Britcher joins us live with the historical reasons behind this push to change the name of one of our most visible mountains, too.
Well, the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes, along with others, have been pushing for this name change for years. Of course, changing the name of any landmark is not easy. It's a long process. But tonight marks an important milestone in that process. For the very first time, the Colorado Geographic Naming Advisory Board will hear a presentation from tribal representatives about this name change and why it should happen. Mount Evans is named after Colorado Territorial Governor John Evans. John Evans authorized and was responsible for the Sand Creek Massacre of 1864, one of the worst massacres in American history. Hundreds of Cheyenne and Arapaho men, women, and children were murdered. And the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes say that John Evans should not be honored.
We want the mountain changed because when we come to Denver, we don't want to look and see Evans. There's a lot of things that we're changing, in the country now, as far as you might say, derogatory names or bad names. And so this would be a good name to change.
And the Mizdahet Coalition, which is made up of tribal members and the Wilderness Society, are pushing to rename Mount Evans to Mount Blue Sky. Blue Sky honoring the Arapaho, who were known as the Blue Sky people, and the Cheyenne hold an annual ceremony of renewal of life called Blue Sky. Now that meeting starts tonight at 6 o'clock, and as we said, it's going to be a lengthy process. Clear Creek commissioners voted to change the name back in March, but The governor and federal leaders must also sign off. Live in Denver this morning, Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
All right. Yes, thank you, Brandon. Well, Colorado obviously has a lot of beautiful landmarks, but a fake tourism ad is getting quite a bit of attention online this morning. Comedian Amy Schumer posted a comedy sketch promoting Colorado's access to legal abortion services.
Whatever kind of experience you're looking for, you can find it here in Colorado. But we're more than just beautiful wilderness. We also have bustling town centers and access to all the services you may need. Not that you need some big dramatic reason to come to Colorado. No one should have to justify a trip to Colorado. Maybe you just want to do with your own body what you want to do with your own body.
So the Colorado Tourism Office said it did not provide any information to Schumer's team, work with them on the sketch in any way, or endorse it in any way. The sketch will be aired on a new season of Inside Amy Schumer, which drops on October 20th on Paramount Plus.
Colorado's Secretary of State's office said it sent postcards to about 30,000 people who are not citizens, encouraging them to register to vote. A driver's license database glitch is reportedly to blame. The Secretary of State's office says anyone who is not a citizen and tries to register to vote will not be able to. Eligible voters in Adams, Arapahoe, and Denver counties will use a first-of-its-kind shared ballot box this year. Typically, drop boxes are specific to the county where the drop box is located. The tri-branded drop box, located at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library in Denver's East Colfax neighborhood, is expected to improve access for voters. Clerks from all three counties said the box will be monitored 24/7 to keep every vote secure.
Well, in addition to the governor and Senate races and others on the ballot coming up in November, voters statewide will also decide on a proposition to regulate psychedelic mushrooms. 10 years after Colorado voters supported legalizing cannabis, though, many Coloradans of color still have cannabis convictions on their records. Some of the supporters of legalizing psychedelic mushrooms think the measure on this November ballot needs to do more to prevent inequitable convictions.
One of the sidebars included that there's going to be discounted licensing fees for BIPOC folks. There's a record sealing aspect. However, a record sealing is a petition. You have to petition the district courts to do this. It could be denied.
However, activist Melanie Rose Rogers says automatic expungement would be more equitable. But on the flip side, Veronica Lightning Horse Perez is for Proposition 122 as it is.
I am of mixed Indigenous ancestry, but I don't speak for Indigenous people. To me, this measure is about personal healing and being able to choose for yourself how you want to heal, and whether that is with plant medicine.
Some of the key dates to remember upcoming for this election: October 17th. Next Monday is the first day ballots can be mailed out. Meanwhile, November 8th is the election day itself. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. that day.
Well, we have some good news for you this morning. The Boulder teenager we told you about yesterday was found safe in a Thornton home. She was last seen at a Boulder High School football game back on September 30th. Officials took her to a hospital to get checked out. It isn't clear where she had been since that time or why she was at the house in Thornton.
3 people are still in the hospital this morning after a driver ran his truck through a crowd of people outside a bar in Golden. 1 man was killed. According to court documents, there were conversations between some of the victims and the suspects about gang affiliations earlier in the evening. Later, there was a fight in the parking lot. Jeffco deputies don't think the suspects knew any of the victims personally. Denver 7's CB Cotton spoke with Mike Fulcomer. His son Robert was one of the 7 people injured.
All he remembers is the fact that he was standing and he took 1 step to one side, he said, and that's when he was hit.
We did a little digging into the suspect's records. He was on parole at the time of that crash. You can see that side of the story on Denver7.com.
Well, the owner of the Rockies is not mincing words about his disappointment with the team's record this year. In a letter to season ticket holders yesterday, Dick Monfort declared the 4-year playoff drought from the Rockies not acceptable and that excuses serve no purpose. This season, the Rockies finished at the bottom of the NL West standings, 43 games out of first place. Monfort says the team is committed to improving in the offseason and even highlighted some of the team's younger prospects.
Halloween festivities are being called off at schools across the country. It's not because of COVID. Plus.
And what did it take to get this bad boy out here?
35 hours of white knuckle driving. You think driving in a snowstorm is bad? Drive one of these things.
No kidding how the journey to get this humongous Halloween staple from Minnesota all the way to California paid off for a teacher turned farmer.